All right.
Are we live?
Yes.
All right. Welcome to Two Queens and Crystal Things, the podcast where we are on some manifest your life, shift your mind, and raise the consciousness type of shit.
Raise it up.
Hello, I am Mia.
And I am Christie. And you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour and then some.
Hey, boo.
Hey. So last week, we discussed the challenges and the glow-up opportunities of being single and full.
I'm a single lady. I'm a single lady. I'm a single lady. I'm a single.
Okay, sorry. Meaning when you know how you are.
Who you are.
Sorry, when you know who you are. And you love yourself being single, which becomes a completely different ball game. It's life-changing. Mm-hmm. So what's going on for today, Mia?
So today we're going to, we talk about a lot of different things, but today we're going to talk about the spiritual work that we do.
Yep.
And, why we do this. And we're going to, this is going to allow us to dive a little bit deeper into our journey that got us to this point. So, we talked a little bit about this in our first episode, but we're just going a little bit deeper today. So, how we're going to do this is we're going to interview each other. And I'm going to start with Christie. She's a Libra. We're out of Libra season.
I know, and I'm so sad.
Yes, we are. So we're out of Libra season, but it's Libra month.
I'm celebrating until my next birthday. To be honest.
So we're still celebrating Christie. So she's going to go first. I'm going to interview her. Then we'll switch. We actually thought we were going to do this in 2 different episodes, but decided there'll be plenty of topics for us to discuss with each other as we go through this journey. Because when I say it is just, it's a journey. You guys, there's
never ending.
It's just never. It's like
never ending.
It's. You guys have heard it. It's just up, it's down, it's in, it's out, and we're here for it. So.
It's like an onion.
It's like an onion, but smells better. Mine smells better.
Very true.
So, as we always do, we wanted to share with all of you, we want to make sure that you guys hear something that resonates with you. So you'll find that while Christy and I are very similar in our desire to accept the fullness of ourselves, our journeys here to talking to ourselves, accepting ourselves, are totally different. Okay? And so why we do the thing that we do may sound familiar, but I'm telling you, it's really interesting how people get to, where they get. So, are you ready, Christy?
She ready.
So, okay. We're going to start us. Today, let's see. Christy just turned 45. She shared. I'm not outing her. Yeah. So, we're going to start short term. Just before we get in deep.
I know you're going to ask me some good questions.
1 year ago.
Shoot.
1 year ago.
Yes.
Your birthday. You turned 44.
Yeah.
How would you describe, at 44, at that person then, how would you describe who you were versus just 365 days later, how you describe who you are today?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay, so first off, Mia has started with a banger question, and I have like really cheesy questions, like, what's your first and middle name? Shut up. I'm so serious. Okay. So a year ago when I turned 44, I was in a holding space. I was unhappy in my relationship. I knew I wanted more from my life. I knew there was more from my life, and I felt like I was missing something. And I was uncertain. So some things have changed, and so now I'm in a place where I feel like, and I'm writing a book about this, getting back to me. I'm writing, like I feel like I'm getting back to who I am, because in my previous relationship, I lost a lot of myself. But now going through the spiritual journey and understanding this journey and the lessons that I needed to learn that got me to this point, I now am more certain with my path and have more confidence in myself, in my intuition. Definitely love myself more.
Amen.
Definitely have less fucks to give. For certain. Bank account is on low. So yeah, that's the difference then and now.
Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna tell you this. We were just actually laughing about this. And I tell you, Christy loves to get certified.
God, she's laughing at me. You see how she is? You see how she is with me?
The only reason I'm laughing, you guys, is because the stuff that she wants to get certified
in my natal chart.
The stuff that she's like getting certified in, I'm like, dude, you already know how to do that. Like, what are we even talking about? Like, you probably showed them how to do this in another lifetime. This is crazy to me. That's why it's funny. But, but before we get into the depths of what exactly it is that you do, from a healing perspective. So, you have a whole normal people job.
Yeah.
And you also have a whole other business and a piece of you that you're offering to the world and healing. And what in you says, you know what? Hold on. I'm healing. I got something to offer the world. What made you decide, okay, this is, I have something to offer, and made you take the step forward? Because, a lot of people have that. They know they have something to offer, but they're too scared to step outside. So what made you say, I got this?
Dang, you asked me some good questions. What kind of wine do you like to drink, Mia? Okay,
all of them.
So I've always known something. I just never knew what that something was, if that makes sense. I've always known something was different with me. I've always known that I had something to give. I just didn't know what that was. And, once my relationship ended last year and we separated and I started this journey of like learning myself and starting the spiritual walk, I started to open up myself about things and things that interested me and things that attracted me. And the one thing was crystals. Like, I was really attracted to crystals, and I really didn't understand why. And there was a woman that I followed for years. Not really, I didn't understand. I didn't realize that I followed her, but I followed her. And she came up on my feed and said that she was offering a crystal healing class. And I was automatically drawn to it. And I said, I have to do it. And actually, at that point in time, financially, I was able to do it. So I just paid for the course. I thought it would be something cool for me to do, of course, because I'm on this journey of getting back to me. And then COVID happened, which was perfect because then I had more time to do the study. So it worked out perfectly. So that's what led me into crystal healing. I mean, honestly, I just got to a point and just things started to lay themselves out. And I think maybe in a reading, I think you may have told me, and I've heard it before, like the energy healer that I work with, Noah, who's in Hawaii, she's been telling me, and I've just been ignoring it. But then once I opened myself up, things just, like the paths just started to be laid in front of me.
Okay, now that's an important, like for real, that's a very important part. Because I think that what we realize is that once you start to accept yourself, or even if you're like, I don't know what the hell this is, but let me just walk down here and see.
Yep.
Once you allow yourself to open your eyes and accept, who you are, what you have to offer, and and see the expansiveness of who you are, the universe is like, oh, you want to see? Here, let me show you.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so I think that a good lesson here for people, and I don't want to say lesson, but a good something to remember is that it doesn't all happen. You know what I mean? Like you'll get a lesson, learn something, and then it's different. You know what I mean? And then things are different, but it doesn't stop there. So the journey literally is a journey. There's pit stops, there's highs, there's lows.
Right.
And so, but it all brings you to where you're supposed to be. So, yep. Okay, sorry.
You see why she's so wonderful? No, I'm serious. Like, I told her even before this, I was like, I really appreciate that you did something. She's just, she's amazing.
Okay. You are amazing. Seriously, I'm a very lucky gal. I know I am. Okay, so Christy always says that she's a work in progress.
I am.
You know, she's always saying that. I mean, we all are, but it's the humble nature in her. She wants to okay, I'm working it through, but y'all, I don't have it all figured out. Because we all are, but people appreciate that.
I'm a hot mess.
Girl, you
like.
Girl, I don't understand how I can't hold back tears. I'm too grown for this shit.
Yeah, I think I've cried too much. I just don't. I'm just like, okay.
So when you say that you're a work in progress, and and oftentimes we talk about purpose. So accepting and knowing that you are still a work in progress, and when I'm saying this because that means that things could shift and change, and they do, because as you grow, your purpose grows. But what do you think your purpose is? I know. You're like, why?
You see how she asks me these good questions, and I'm over here like rearranging my shit. So deleting. What's your middle name? I'm so for real. That was like number one. I'm telling you.
Do you need time to think about it?
No,
what's
not
your
at all.
middle name?
No, not at all. Not at all. So, honestly, I know my purpose is to influence change. Mm-hmm. And I believe that my purpose is to influence change. I need to make sure I'm like recording this. I am recording this. Make sure I'm writing it. No, so I know that my purpose is to influence change, but I also believe that through, like, I'm influencing, I do this through influencing, through sharing, through my story and being transparent. So to be honest, a lot of what I have gone through, in me sharing that with people, whether it be on my blog or Instagram, I think that has helped to shape what I believe my purpose is, because I realized that in my sharing, even with me like going through vulnerable shit, like I went through, like when I share with people that my first marriage was physically violent, and I am technically, and I still don't believe this is coming out of my mouth, but I am a survivor of domestic violence. And when I share that with people,
I'm a survivor.
Right?
Girl, that's what you is. Yes,
when I share that with people, it makes them. It breaks down the barriers, because there are a lot of women who have been in the same situation but have been too fearful.
Absolutely.
And so
shameful. Yeah.
So like when I've shared this with other people, I'm like, domestic violence doesn't look like a poor black person or poor person living, on the street.
Come on.
It can be your neighbor. It can be a CEO. I mean, there was a
sister,
recent video of a police officer who was being was being beat up by her boyfriend. So it can be anyone. And I think when they look at me and I am a regular person, and to see that I'm still happy, and that I'm still sharing, and that I'm still being positive and wanting other people to be positive, I think that has helped people to break down the barriers for themselves and say, what, I've gone through the same thing.
What you do is, as you are sharing your story, people who are experiencing the same thing, or know someone who's experiencing the same thing, it gives them a different perspective, because we always, I'm always talking about, like, when you're in there, you can't see the forest for the trees, and we isolate ourselves, and especially black women, we have this thing that we take on at some point in life where we are just so strong, and we are. And don't get me wrong, we some damn spiritual alchemists. We make gold out of dust,
right?
But that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to be strong to the point where we're harming ourselves. So when we isolate ourselves because we don't want anybody to know that we're hurting like that, by you sharing your story, they're like, oh, but she like normal like me. So
Yep.
like,
So you never
know what I
know.
mean? It's like, but she's
Don't judge.
So you don't know what people are
Yeah.
going through. But what I do think is beautiful about that, though, Christy, is that you just being who you are. And I think this is a message for everybody. This is for real. You just said a message for everybody. Just by being who you are, you're living in your purpose.
Yeah.
Just by all you did, all you're doing is opening your mouth and sharing. You're living in your purpose because you're helping people to heal themselves and to know that it doesn't have to look like this. That I have an option and I have a choice, and you just never know what you say, you know, can heal people. Yeah. So
true.
Christy is she's a crystal healer. So I'm sure people who are certified crystal healers are going to hate the way that I describe this, but I'm just trying to describe it for it's a healing modality where basically using crystals to move energy through your body and heal energy that needs to be there. It's actually a very wonderful experience, no joke. And if you've had Reiki before, it's similar to that. And then this a couple of weeks ago, Christy went and got certified in Angel Reiki. I do Reiki, and we've been talking about it, and she found this. I'm like, man, this sounds amazing. Now, I also told her then, just keep it at 100. Like,
you already know this.
Trust me. Like, but, you know, you got to let people, you know, be who they are. But, so Chrissy has definitely, I want to say probably in the first reading I ever did with her when we first met, I knew immediately that she was a healer. Like it was just all over her, like just all over her, and the energy was so strong. And so I think Christy is embracing the fact that she's a healer, and so she searches out different modalities for healing because it's if I were to do an I am statement for you, it would be I am healer. I'm always joking with you about like, oh, here we go with your certificate, but it's you know it's literally just a part of who she is. So when I asked you about your purpose, I want to know how much do you feel like as you're going through healing people, learning how to heal people, and going through the different modalities, how do you feel like that's tied to your purpose? You know what I mean? Like when you do this, do you feel like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, or you know, this like I was meant for this, or is it just like this is something that I'm really interested in doing? Like how,
this
or
is
is
such
it
a
like
very
is this
interesting question? So for me, and I know that you'll understand this when I say this, but for me, it's like, oh yeah, this is what I do.
Yep.
You know, like, okay.
This is
me. Like, this makes sense. It's not the only part, like, it's not my full purpose because there's so much more. But I know that it's part of my purpose because just naturally I am a giver. And this allows me, this allows me to give in that way. And honestly, like, in this space, as long as you, and my guides already told me, they said, as long as you continue to give, as long as you continue in this way, as far as like healing, you will be fine.
You're fine. Yep.
And so I have been holding true to that, although I'm still working on it. I've gotten to the point where, because at one point I was like, oh, you know, you get a free session and you get a free session. And I realized that I'm not going to be a millionaire off of it, but at the same time, it's an exchange of energy. Right.
Look, I wish I could see the way I'm snapping my neck.
Mia's over there, you know, swinging her hair. I was like, I know, but there is an exchange of energy. So now there is, there has to be something in exchange, whether that's monetary or whether I'm exchanging services. But yeah.
So the reason I was asking you about the purpose thing was because, like you said, when you're doing it, the way you described it, you said, I'm doing this. This is me. So I think oftentimes what happens is, when we're doing things that when we're serving them our purpose, it feels different. Yeah. It's something that clicks like, I've been doing this.
Yeah, no, it feels
like
it's almost gotten to the point where now it's just like me waking up and taking a shower and brushing my teeth.
It's
you know, when I
just-
work with
it
people, it's like,
feels-
oh, okay, so this goes here, and oh, you're telling me to do what now? Okay, so I'm gonna do
Yep.
that.
So
like,
there
okay.
is a connection there. So, and 'cause, you know, people will ask, like, how do you know when you're walking, you know, when you're doing things that are connected to your purpose? And so I like the way that you said that. It's just like, I just feel like I've been doing this. It's just, that's,
It just feels,
it feels as natural as anything. It's
Yeah.
breathing. And sometimes when you're doing things where you're connected, that's connected to your purpose, it is, it's like you're in your genius zone. It's easy for you. It is who you are. It's not something that you do. It's who you are.
yeah.
And so that's why I was curious what your.
That's true.
It's just different. It's totally different. So somebody who's an educator, whether or not they are, see, if your purpose is to educate, to enlighten, to bring people up, then it doesn't matter if you're in a classroom or you're teaching workshops or you are you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I educate. So when you're educating, no matter what the function or method is, you're walking in your purpose. So I know there's educators that listen to this. So when you are doing what you do, and it's connected to your passion, to your purpose, then it feels different.
Yeah.
It totally feels different. It can be, I bring beauty. You can own a floral shop, and it's just like, if this feels different, and it's like, so people may think like, okay, my purpose is not to own a flower shop. That might not be what your purpose is, but your purpose is to bring beauty to people, to open up their hearts and their minds, and to let people see that there's beauty everywhere. That might be your purpose, and the way you manifest that is through your flower shop or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
And I think it's
there
important for
you go.
people to be open to that too. Mm-hmm. Because as we are discovering our purpose, and to be honest, I think once I just started like, okay, I need to get back to being me, I was just open. So even during meditation, like, you guys just show me what is it I'm supposed to do. And honestly, like, the path was just literally cleared out for me to just walk. All I had to do was walk. So whatever you guys may think is your purpose, it may not necessarily, like what Mia was saying, it may not look to be what you were thinking it to be, but it may come through in a different way.
Oh, because I say for certain, it definitely
Just
don't
be
look like I
open.
thought. Just be open to it for certain. Okay, so my next question. Dun, 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 dun.
Uh-oh.
So when we talk, we make a clear distinction about, you know, people traveling their journey, because there's an awareness like, okay, I'm about to go through this discovery process.
We talked about
And-
it earlier.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that in part of your, of course my questions are unfair because I know her, right? But y'all will get it. Okay, so I know that as part of your journey, it came to you like, there's work for you in this realm. There's work for you, you know, in the spiritual realm. And I think that a lot of women, and you know, a lot of, like, we some badasses. We got these degrees. We work in these, you know, in these corporations. We are running shit. And so oftentimes when we think about embracing the spiritual sides of ourselves, we think of like this bohemian, you know, just lackadaisical, just kind of blowing in the wind, free. Now, like, that, bitch, that's not who I am.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that you're not a spiritual person. So it's such a personal experience, right?
And I have to admit, I had that thought too.
Oh, for certain. No, for certain. No, and I know for a fact that I did too. You know, we've had this conversation because it's just like, okay, if I embrace that life, that means now I have to smell like patchouli.
Right.
No.
Burn incense all the time.
Right.
Wear sunflowers in my hair.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And have this childlike innocence. No. So I think that, you know, for you, when you embrace the fact that, okay, yeah, I'm a healer. Like, I have some work to do in this realm. How can I say this? Okay, I'm trying to figure out how do I say this without really complicating it. How did you, once you accepted I'm a healer, how are you able to reconcile that with every other part of you? Like, okay, it's like, all right, I'm a healer, but I'm a mom. I'm now going through a divorce. I'm, I work in public health. It's a fucking pandemic going on. You know what I mean? So when you think about all of that, how were you able to, because I think this is very important for people to, because they can't reconcile all the pieces of themselves. So how are you able to take this and be like, oh, I'm this too, and make that work for you and still do what you're due?
Mia's asking some really good questions. Well, the very interesting thing is once I acknowledged and accepted healing as being a piece of me, it has now trickled into every part of my space. So healing has become a part of the public health space for me. Healing has become a part of my mommy space. Healing has become a part of my just the everyday space. Where it's no longer like, okay, it's going to fit nice and neat in this bucket. I'm going to put this over here to the right and I'll pick it up on Sunday. No, it's just a part of who I am, and I've accepted that in walking in the fullness of me.
Yes, ma'am.
And
I love that.
So it's not separate. It is now
I love this. So the way that I'm seeing this, and I always visualize stuff, you guys. It's just how I am. It's like I see, like, I Am Healer is like the holding company. And then everything that you do falls like from
organizational
that.
So
an organizational chart. Right. It's just like, I am healer, Christy. I am healer. And then everything that you do, you're able to put that. Oh, I love that.
So it's not separate
that's what I'm
anymore.
talking about. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, of course, there's a time and a place for everything. Like, I'm not going to sit in the meeting with the heads of, Cook County Department of Public Health and be like, well, first we need to go out and make sure that there are crystal healing stations at every COVID. I understand that there's a time and a space for that, but it is a part of me. And it's not a part that I hide anymore.
See, that's the thing. Because you've accepted who you are, it's not, there is no, like, Christy at work, Christy at home, I am Christy. And this is how I show up. So that's why, guys, like, you don't have to lose who you are to accept your spiritual gifts and, you know what I mean, and what you have to offer the world. It's just accepting the fullness of who you are. It's just all about how you showing up in these different places. Because we still have, life. Life is still happening out here.
It is still happening. And can I say something to you? So when I went for my angelic Reiki, the ladies that I spent the weekend with, first of all, were amazing. But one of them, we were having a conversation because she lives in some part of California where there's a lot of land. She does work. She actually grows marijuana on her farm. Yes,
Lord, this sounds like a beautiful song.
And she's very, like, earthy and vegan-like, but she, one of the things that we were talking about was just being in the spiritual realm and how, even though we're spiritual, we still want nice things. And so we were talking about a car. Because we were talking about manifestation. I was like, oh, well, I manifested my car. And she's like, oh, really? Well, what kind of car you have? And I shared. She's like, oh, my gosh, I want to manifest either a Mercedes-Benz truck or I want to manifest this. And I'm like, girl, you got it. And that, it was just in that conversation where I realized just because we're in this space doesn't mean that we have to, one, be broke, two, smell funky.
I ain't taking narrow poverty pledge. You
right? No, but I feel like I already know abundance is our portion. Abundance is how we are supposed to live.
To jump up out this chair.
But it's the truth, and that was a truth that I recently accepted.
Absolutely.
Like, we're supposed to live abundantly in this life.
Fuck, I be telling people. Why do people don't listen to me? Why people don't?
But I'm telling you, but once you get to a point where you grasp it, you understand it, you know it to be true, your life will change. I was over here driving and I was thanking my guys and thanking God. Look, at one point I was so grateful today. I was like, thank you, Mama Gaia. Thank you. I was going down a list of people. I was like, thank you this person, thank you this person, thank you to my guys, thank you. I'm so grateful. But once you get to that space, your life will change. Your life will change. Yeah.
And it's not about the things, it's the fact that I just realized I have control to manifest anything I want. Damn, that's life changing. Like, so because that's not, you know what I mean? Because
it's true.
But here's the trick about life.
Manifesting
but I think it's so interesting. By the time people get to the point where they realize, like, oh shit, I for real have control over this. They've experienced some things, and the way that they see life is different. There's something about age and wisdom that makes that opening different.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, if I was 25, I'd be like, oh, I'm trying to manifest the new Tesla. Like, now the way that my brain is set up, I'm not even that. It's because I'm smart and I have some experience. It's like this. I'm manifesting my life to be like this, for me to walk in my purpose and be abundant in doing that. The things I don't. It's just things. It's just things. It's not like I'm not like, it's not a specific like I want. It's just like, this is my home is this. It feels like this, and this is what it looks like. I put that in my head. Bam, watch that shit happen. And so.
And
period,
there's no question.
Period. And it is no question.
Right.
But it's because I'm connected.
Yeah.
So that's why, girl, that's you said a whole word right there, friend. Okay. Last question.
Last good question.
No. I think this is an easy one.
Before we get to my little puny one.
No, for real. This is a good one. And an easy one. I want you to think back to a time when you were, when you felt very lost, but knew that there was more for you. It's like, I don't know how, I don't know what, I just know there's more, but right now, I feel stuck. What advice would you tell yourself? Go back to her and tell her. What would you go tell her?
You guys see how good these questions are? And this was last year around my birthday. I remember how I felt on my birthday.
Ooh, girl.
The funny thing is, I actually ran across a video the other day, the day of my birthday, with my ex-husband, and I was in the car, and we were going out to dinner. And I remember, I was having a good time because I'm always going to have a good time, regardless. But I just remember how I felt like,
why do I feel how you feel? Oh, when that stop, I need, girl, because my whole heart felt so heavy.
I was like, this is not it.
Ooh.
And we took a picture together. It's girls on my Instagram. We took a picture together, and I enjoyed the night. It was my birthday because I firmly believe in celebrating me, but I was not feeling it, and I knew that things were going to change, and I wasn't sure how, and this has been a reoccurring theme of late, is the power of choice.
We've been talking about this for a few weeks.
We have, and
but it's real.
It is very real. So I would go back and I would tell myself, baby girl, you have the power of choice. You don't have to remain in a situation where you feel like you can't be yourself.
Come, baby, be free.
You don't have to remain in a situation where you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells and where you can't embrace who you are fully.
Just me and your spirit guys walking behind you like,
yes.
Get it. Get it.
But it's so true. And so I would go back and tell myself, you have the power of choice. And once you make that choice, understand that historically, your guides, your angels, the universe has always looked out for you. So even though this is scary and new territory, you will continue to be looked out for. Did that make sense?
we know what
you guys. You know what I'm trying to say. But no, like, things will continue to be set before me. It's never going to be easy. Never. But that is where you learn the lesson, and that's where I can appreciate all of this. But I would tell myself, you have the power of choice, and in that choice, your life is going to change, and it will change for the better, but know that you have the power, the magic to make your life and to create the life that you want to live.
Please, can you just say that last two sentences for me, please? Because anything with magic and it makes me happy.
You have the power and you have the magic to make your life the way that you want it to be, and it is so true. So that's what I would tell her last year. I would have gone back and told myself. The 44-year-old version of me.
Come on.
Whew, I have to exhale off of that one, because I was holding my breath, realized just because I felt like I was in this
back space. In that space.
I did, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was just holding on to so much.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take you back there. I do shit like that.
No, it's fine. But again, this is also something that comes with growth. Like I felt it, and I was just like, "Whew, okay, I just have to exhale." Like I realized that I was back there.
Moved, and now I'm not there.
Right. Let it go, girl. Let it go. Keep it going.
So, you guys, you heard it here. Please, send any questions that you guys may have, and more importantly, though, to get yourself a crystal healing session, bomb diggity bomb bomb bomb, or an angelic Reiki session. Please reach out to Christie. I know she has it on her IG, Christie R. Edwards. That's ChristiE Ara EDWARDS.
Yes.
That's her handle on Instagram. And if you go to Two Queens Crystal Things, you'll find her there where you can find her individual Instagram. But I'm telling you, you know, she's a whole normal person, but she's a beast. I'm trying to tell you, she's a full healing beast. No, for real, y'all.
You mean me?
If it wasn't telling somebody else's business, I would tell her some things I've seen her done. All right.
And that's the thing, you know, when you have friends who are intuitives, they see shit before it even happens. Or they see shit as it happens, and you're like, you didn't even give me a chance to tell you, but okay. Or she'll give you like a little bit, like a little bite, and it's like, well, you gonna tell me the rest? Oh no, I can't tell you. But then why even just bring it up? Just don't even say anything.
It's good.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and you know, now I'm feeling some kind of way about my questions, but we're just gonna go into this anyway because you know that's how we go. We're gonna flow.
To be fair, you know, I have a journalism degree.
You know what? This is true. There you go.
And I've done PR for 400,000 years, so that's not fair. Yeah.
No, so that's the okay.
You
so
know, I
that's the
think I'm
reason
a
why.
fake ass Oprah.
But no, she has some really good questions. But you know, it's all right. Well, I'm gonna rock with my
Yeah,
little
we got
ones.
this.
It's
I'm
all right.
excited.
All right. So you asked me about my purpose, so I'm gonna
Oh,
ask you
shit.
about yours. So what would you describe as your purpose?
Okay. Ugh, I just got excited thinking about it because I think the way I would describe it today is different than I would before. But I undoubtedly believe that my purpose is I remind, I wake up, I
That's
activate.
so true.
And so I think
She does.
my purpose is like, and I mean, even back before I was really being a healer, I will always remember if I had a magic genie, and they'd be like, wish, my wish even years and years ago always be that people woke up to knew who they were. If I had a magic genie, everybody, because I always knew that would just change life. And so
That's deep.
I think I'm an activator. I empower. I remind people who the fuck they are, and I think that's my purpose and my role in helping. You know, that's where I fit in the bigger picture.
Right.
Because we need the warriors. We need the queens and the kings out and popping, petals popping,
Petals
popping. You know, healing and saving, because heal people heal people.
Yep.
So I think as I heal, I know if I help you, you go and you open up. You're like, wait, petals popping. Oh wait, and then that goes out.
I teach someone else to pop their petals.
Yeah, you teach somebody. You know what I mean, and it
Yes.
grows. And so when I imagine, when I tell you my guys, and Chrissy knows how my guys are with me. Like,
Oh my goodness.
they
Don't
just.
play.
I've cultivated this relationship over time with them, and they literally just show me turning people's lights on. I honestly think that's it. And so that's why, I always tell Christy, I'm like, I don't want to be the type of person that has followers. I'm catch and release. Catch, empower, turn your light on. Now girl, go turn on some more people's lights. Or gentlemen, come on man, go turn on some more people's lights. So that's what I think my purpose is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you talked about over the years how you've developed this relationship with your guys. So one of the things that I love about Mia is just how she works with her guides and how her guides work with you. And when I tell you, it is such a pleasure to see and a joy. And part of, some days I'm like, well, my guides don't talk to me that way. But I also realize that our guides relate to us in a way that we need.
Ooh,
And so
that
for
part.
me, like, you know, she will have a whole book like, oh, my guides gave me the method of how to save Earth and to, you know, take energy out of poop and water. My guides would just be like, A, Z.
Get there.
Right. Or, you know, they'll just give me little bits and pieces. But for me, I don't need like a whole story. I don't need, you know, I think I'm just very like bam, bam.
Thank
That's
you, ma'am.
it, right.
Oh, bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm very just like straight cut, no chaser. And that's how my guides talk to me. And so sometimes I'm like, man, they don't talk to me like that. They don't laugh with me like that. But she just has this wonderful, unique relationship with them. So how did you get to this point? How did you cultivate that relationship with your guides?
Ooh, child. I just got chills because they like, tell the truth. ooh. It's genuinely so emotional for me because it's so much love. And honestly, how I got there was by not listening. When I tell you, they would be very clear with me, and I just wasn't open and I wasn't ready. And I would do what I and all my wonderful, because I'm intelligent than a motherfucker. What are we talking about? I got this. And I would ignore what I knew every time. And immediately, I bumped my head. And I used to have this joke. I'd be like, y'all, God don't play with me. So you know how some people, they do something, they don't necessarily feel consequences, or to be like, oh, 3 years later. That was never it was like immediate.
Whoops.
Immediate. Don't push the red button. I'm pushing the red button. Anvil on my head. Like somebody else, they walk away and, 2 years down the line, they're like, oh, that's why I shouldn't have pushed that button. That's not how it worked for me. Wow. So when I got to the point where when it's just like, I can't. Yeah. Like, this doesn't make sense. I said, and you said this earlier when we were talking, let me try a different way. Because what I believed and what I thought was real and, the way to do it, clearly is not working. Yeah, clearly. So I've been listening to y'all talk for a little while. It's kind of annoying. So what you want? Since you think you know everything, tell me what to do. And immediately changed my life. And then, of course, you still have backsliding days where I'm like, right. I know for real, it's good. It's good. I got this. And they're like, bink. Okay. I wish this kid did. Okay. So it's trial and error. It's literally, they have never let me down. And it's not that I don't make mistakes or that I don't run into challenges. Mm-hmm. They'll straight tell you, this about to be one. Right. But we got you, and this is for a reason. Just trust us and keep walking. When you have something, like I'm about to cry. When you have this knowingness and this connection that I'm never alone, and no matter what the fuck I do, they got me. Yeah, baby. So it allowed me to be bold with them. I trust them. I'm like, what we doing?
She trusts them. I
trust.
For real. So
I just trust.
You talked about them talking to you. So when would you, how old were you, if you can think back, how old were you when you started to hear them talking to you?
So looking back, I think, so when I was, long story short, thank you. Mm-hmm. Jesus. When I was, growing up, I was, living with my biological mom. I was adopted when I was about 8 or 9. But at the time, before I was adopted, that's, my foundational years, I was with my mother, and she was a straight crackhead. South side of Chicago. When I say, for real, sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, I have no idea how I'm even still alive. It makes absolutely no sense. But I'm absolutely certain that there was angels by me and there was a bubble around me, because there's no way the things that were happening in my life that I'm still alive, the things that I was able to do and still make it. Yeah. And when I think back on it, and this is so funny, I just got a cat. This is really funny. When I was there with my mom, she's going through her thing. As a child, I'm thinking I can fix it. Like, I'm going to be perfect so she loves me and stuff. I learned how to survive. And then I had a little sister when I was like 5. And who gonna take care of us now? Yeah. So when I think back, like, I have no idea how I learned how to read, because I know for a fact that there was wide swaths of time where I wasn't in school because my mama wasn't home. What I'm gonna do, leave my baby sister there? But when I did go to school, I tested 99 percentile. Where did I get that from? So I think they have always been there. And then like in this time, as I'm talking to them, they've told me, like, we've always been there. You know what I mean? But what really messed me up was them telling me you chose it to be like that because of who you are. In order to have that compassion and be able to show people who they are, you had to not know who you were to the least extent, and then grow all the way to 100 so you can connect with any person, any place they are in the realm. And so, yes, at 43, it's like, oh, I get it. It all makes sense. But when you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
right, it
felt like I was forgotten. But looking back and like as things start to recall, I'm like, I know for a fact that I would have been kidnapped, murdered. It makes no sense. Yeah. Like, you know, me and with the little sister, and like mom's just gone for days. I'm in the grocery store stealing bologna and bread. You know what I mean? Like, this was a very real thing for me, and so there's a lot of good things that come from that, but there's also a lot of liabilities that I've had to deal with over time. So it took me a very long time to be able to accept the fact that I needed people. When the person that you is supposed to be the one person that no matter what, they're there for you, is not able to because they're sick. But as a kid, I don't see that. Right. So now I have to find a way to survive so I'm not feeling like I'm getting stabbed in the heart every single day of my life. So I taught myself not to need people. Wow. So the good thing is that, like, I have the least addictive personality of, like, I can't get addicted because I can let go of anything. But that also means that there are times in my life where I've let go of things that I probably should have held on to or, you know, dug a little bit deeper. But that was painful for me because what if they leave like that? So you keep people at a distance because that hurts. And if the person who birthed you do that, what is this fool going to do? Right. So it took that. So it's an asset and a liability. But I know that's why, like, girl, this little COVID shit. Babe, let me tell you something. I ain't scared of shit. I got this. But they've always been there. Yeah. And I'm so appreciative. And because I'm just like, I think about it, it's so overwhelming to me. Like, oh my God, like. I remember certain times, like the cat. Sorry, I could not figure out why. You know, I've been talking about this gray cat. I'm like, I want a gray cat. I want a gray cat. So, I got a cat now. His name is River. He's adorable and he's all gray. I'm sitting up here. I'm rubbing the cat, and it all just came back. When I was with my mom and we were going through this, I'm in the house by myself with my little sister. I had a cat. His name was Gray Stroke, and he was all gray. Wow. This cat was like, and when I think about the relationship that I had with this cat, it was like he was like a little angel to me. So for some reason, I totally forgot. Wow. And then I'm like, Gray Stroke. And it was just like it and like even something like that, it's like they've always been there.
Wow. I'm telling you, like, once you tap in and you...
Woo, child!
You learn to have this appreciation for life. Even, like you said, the highs and the lows. You learn to appreciate every aspect of your life because you also have this deeper understanding that is how you chose this life to be for you.
Yes.
At this point in time.
That part. Understanding that this is how you chose it to be before you even got here, but for a unique reason and purpose. Once you kind of embody that, you're like, oh, wait a minute, okay. So if I did that, clearly I'm going to give myself a little bit of credit and say I'm not a whole crazy person. So that helps you to see, well, then what am I here for? Yep. Like, then you start saying, well, shit, I done been through some shit in life. You trying to tell me that was for naught? No, it's for a reason, and it's a purpose behind that, and that's empowering because you can take trauma and transmute that to purpose. What?
That's so true.
Okay.
All right. So my next question: how old were you when you realized you were different?
Sorry, I'm like, how many times? How old was I? Honestly, very young. But I'm gonna tell you why. I didn't know it was a spiritual thing at the time. But at a very young age, I could read a room like no other. I could see. It was like something. It was almost like I could pick up on body language. I could see the subtleties in people's faces. And it's like I could hear what wasn't being said. And so when you're a kid and you pick up on shit that you're not supposed to be picking up on, and you asking questions out of pure like, wait a minute, but that's not what he said. He said that, but that's not what he thinks. They're like, first of all, you don't know what you... So then you learn real quick and be like, okay, first of all, shut your mouth if you're trying to get your lips smacked off your face. I like my lips. I want to keep them...
Stay out of grown folks' business.
But I knew very early on that I was catching on that shit way faster. Like, it was, and it's not like math or... Like, when I say I was catching on to energy, and I could, it's like I could see it. I could see people for who they really were, not what they were showing themselves to be. And I didn't know that everybody. It was like I thought it was a game. Like, so this is who you are, and then it's like a game every day. You try to figure out who you're going to be. Like I remember thinking like this. Is what,
well, let me tell you, I know someone who was living that every single day.
Like, what
mask should I put on today?
But I think when I realized that everybody wasn't doing that, and then and this is one thing I went through a very long time in my life where I was and I think I'm much more quiet than I have been in the past. I'm much more observant because I realize that the way that I see things and process them, everyone doesn't see like that. So when you say it out loud, people feel like you're attacking them.
Right.
Or you're saying that they're less than. So now I've learned, shut your mouth. That's not, you know what I mean? Because especially, and it would be so hurtful and painful for me because I'm like, that's not my intent. I'm just trying, like, don't you see this?
But see, that's the thing too. A lot of people don't like to be faced with their truth.
And this is what I think my biggest challenge is. In finding my purpose, what I realized that what I am is a mirror for people. Yeah. So sometimes if you're coming forth and you like, and I told you, people who are attracted to me and they come to me for readings, they always have powers. I mean, my guys told me, they said, you're a DNA activator. We're going to send them to you. So I already know that's what it is. But when I, what was I just talking about? Wow, am I? No, I'm not. But it's just when people come forward, and I know that they have purpose and power. So and they're just like, oh, here's another one.
Because I went to her for a reading, and there you go, and here I am.
Here we are.
Yes. All right.
Drinking champagne out of a coupe.
Yes, and this champagne is really good. I had to slow down, you guys, because I have to remember what I'm asking. Because, some days I'm like, what was I saying?
Like I just did. I was like, wait, what was I talking about?
Okay, so let me ask you this question. When did you have your first spiritual experience? And it can be either... I mean, you talked about reading the room, or it can even be like sensing.
See, I didn't know that was... I would say a spiritual experience when I knew I was having a spiritual experience.
Yes.
Okay, give me a question.
So I'll give you my example. So in high school,
because I'm like, I gotta think about this.
And I've talked about this before. So for me, high school was when a lot of things started happening. And I talked about the story before. I spent the night at my friend's house, and I woke up, and there was a woman in a rocking chair next to the bed. And I turned over to my friend. I was like, "Who's this old woman in the chair?" She was like, "What? What are you talking about?" And I was like, "She's right there. You don't see her." And then when she looked at me like, "Christy, there's no one there," then I was like, "Okay." That was when I realized that, like, that's when I had my first spiritual experience when I was a teen.
So, okay. I think that throughout life, I had several spiritual moments that I didn't realize were spiritual moments till later. And one I'm thinking about is, so I went to University of Illinois for my first 2 years of college, and then I transferred down to Clark, Atlanta. I was running track, and I had hurt myself on like the first like outdoor meet of the season something. So I don't know. I was just like, I'm not running track anymore. I'm over this. I'm going down to Atlanta. My parents were not for it. They're like, okay, well, guess what? You're going to figure it out. And I remember standing in the line, like, okay, and saying, how am I going to pay for this? Because this is back in the day we were standing in line to register. Don't judge me. I'm that old. And they had given me the bill, and I was going to register. I'm like, okay, shoot, how much of a loan do I have, all this stuff. And I remember saying, make this work. And 5 minutes later, the coach of the track team for the men's and women's track team for Clark Atlanta University, head coach, his name is Coach Edwards. He walks up to me, and he says, you Mia? And I was like, and you are? He said, I'm Coach Edwards. I'm like, nice to meet you. And he looked over at the bill. He said, whew, that's a big one. How you going to pay for that? I was like, I don't know. Can I help you? He said, no, but I can help you. He said, if you come to the track tomorrow, get back on the track, I'll pay for all that. I was like, what? He's like, I'm like, how do you even know? Right. You know what I mean? So
that is so
what come to find out, the head trainer he went to U of I when he was in college. And so he knew people there. So the coach called him and told him, she said she doesn't want to run track anymore, but you need to get her on the track. And he came and found me. And so, and that's literally how I paid. And then, the rest is history. And then I was All-American. But when I tell you, I had
you just glossed over that.
But I had no idea how it was going to work. Yeah. But I'm still standing there like I've always had this. I just know that. Yeah. I don't know how, but I'm going to stand. Something keeps telling me just stand here. So when I think about stuff like that, I'm like, I've always had them. But I will tell you, when when it was purposeful, where I knew that I was having an experience, was the first time I did this meditation about the spiritual, going to the soul of your. Remember this? Actually, I did that for you.
What?
The guided meditation I did for you. So I came up with this meditation. I didn't know what I was doing because I hated all the other guided meditations. I'm like, ugh, this is so boring. Like, geez. So I did this meditation for myself where I said, okay, I set the intention. I'm going to go meet my spirit family. And I knew that I had touched something else. Like whole something else. And it was so overwhelming and beautiful. And it wasn't a scary feeling. It was just like, and so much shit just started making sense. Like even the colors that I like and certain times in life that I'm attracted, like everything just came together for me. And I realized like, oh, so y'all always here? I can just call you?
Always.
Like, oh, this is awesome.
Always.
So I think I got deep into a meditation. And then I would tell you this, and if I don't know what crack feels like, but I would imagine that after getting that high of knowing, oh shit, wait, it's insatiable now. Like my thirst for growing and knowing the fullness of who I am, all angles and sides of it is astronomical because of that first, like, because I controlled that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I did this and I can do it again. And I can, oh, wait. And then I can invite you in and I can say this and I can protect myself from this. Oh, girl, bye. And then it was on in Papinga.
Okay, so I do have another question.
Yes.
So in connection to what you just said, and I don't know if you're able to really answer this question, and I hope this isn't an unfair question that I'm going to ask, but which goddess or ascended master has been most helpful in your spiritual growth and why?
Okay, that's a good one. Ooh, one. Okay.
I mean, you can name a couple.
Right, I was about to be like this.
Some more champagne.
I don't think there's anything else in there.
There is no more.
I'm hungry. Okay. But there is another bottle in the refrigerator because there's always more. We're abundant over here.
She will get me abundantly drunk. Abundantly with the abundant hangover.
I think, damn, that's a good one. I mean, I'm like, oh, no, oh, that's a hard one.
I know, like, I was like, is this a fair
Damn.
question? But I wanted to ask.
No, I get that. Okay, so, okay. I think initially, it was Archangel Michael. Mm-hmm. Because as I was exploring deeper into the spiritual world, I wanted to make sure that I was protected.
Yep.
And so he taught me how to protect myself, to put bubbles around myself, and to, you know what I mean. And like, and the thing about it that I think helped me to grow spiritually is that he's never not done what I asked. Like, right. Real talk.
He's on it. He's on. Like, I'm telling you,
so it's like, oh, I can call him. You know what I mean? So I think initially it was him, and for me, and you know, just my journey, Archangel Michael, kind of emboldened me to keep going. Like, you're protected, keep going. Yeah. Because, you know, when you really start thinking about this, you're like, well, I don't want to tap on some shit that I don't want to see now.
You're right.
But, you know, he taught me that, you know, you run this. You are in the seat of power. You can invite in and you stay out. You can protect, you know what I mean? And so when he taught me, it's like, oh, I have control over this. So he emboldened me. But I would tell you who really kind of showed up and showed out and was like, bitch, let me show you who the fuck you are. It was Isis.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, welcome. Sit down. Been waiting for you. I mean, wow. Like, steal stuff. And I'm just like, who are you? Sure you talking to the wrong person. But I think that as I grow and like there's more of goddess energy is coming to me. I'm in a very at this point. I think we go through journeys. You know, I'm in a very divine feminine phase of my journey right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm all about this woman, right? Like the woman thing right now. So you know, Kuan Yin, which if you look at this, it's so funny because you know I've always loved Asian culture. It's just it's honestly I really have. But when Mary Magdalene, you know, Ascended Master, who Jesus, there's been so many that show up at the time, and when different people show up, I'm like, wait a minute, who are you? And it's so fascinating because it's just like, you know, you set it up like this. You put your team together. So I'll be kind of high-fiving myself like, bitch, you put together a squad. If this was fantasy football, we winning.
Gang, gang. Gang, gang.
Gang, gang, gang. But it's a lot of the women. Kuan Yin, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Oshun recently.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
And so and it's so interesting to me how different guys. So I know when she's around because I hear her bracelets. I always hear clink, clink, clink. That's a new thing. So I had asked Shannon. I was like, Shannon, does she wear jewelry? Because I hear this and I can feel it's the energy is different. I'm like, oh, okay. And these are some very strong, but nurturing women. That energy is strong but nurturing. But one thing that all of the guys that I say, especially from the women's side, have in common is the reason that they are who they are and where they are is because they've always known who the fuck they were.
Yeah. And something I want to say, and I hope I don't confuse people when I say this, but they are aspects of us.
Absolutely.
And I think that
we are aspects of them.
Right.
And us. So, and yes.
So one of the things, I was given this analogy and I thought that it was a perfect description. So you have a window and the window brings in light. Okay. And you pull the shade down and there are pieces of the shade, you know, when you open up the shade, it brings in different, brings in light, but the light is not full light. There are the light is kind of broken into pieces. We are just a piece of that light.
So let me tell you something. You remember when I said to you, I honestly think that part of our mission and purpose of life. I posted about this today, just in terms of like loving yourself so much that you split because you want to see what you can become.
Yep.
So I think that there are certain energies that women, some of us are, connected to certain energies because it's just like they love themselves so much that they split so pieces of their energy can go out and continue the work that they've been doing. So I most definitely, I love that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we both work in this spiritual, we both have side things that we do in this realm. You are a Reiki practitioner. You are also a spiritual coach. You are an intuitive, so she gives readings, and she also does Akashic record readings. Is there anything else you do that I'm not aware of?
I just walk around smiling.
So what led you to that space? How did you get to that point?
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
How'd you start reading?
No, seriously. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. This is funny to me because I think about it like, what year is this? 2020. In 2016, 2017, someone was like, so guess what? You're about to be doing readings. I'd be like, bitch, who? Where?
Bitch.
If you don't get the whole, I got shit to do. How? I don't. So I would tell you that I was the last person. I tell you something. I was Miss Corbett. What are you talking about? Please, girl, I'm on a mission. About this money, this paper. I don't have time for your little boho patchouli ass.
Secure the bag.
But, boy, I would. And this is why I love my guides. And this is why I love the journey that I've chosen. And I wouldn't do it any other way. Yeah. I honestly, truly, in everything in my body, believe that I had to go through every phase of that because so many of us are like that. So many of us women we have been taught to believe that our worth is connected to that's who we are, and we have to follow this like we're these paper dolls, right? So I believe that I had to be one to understand how to heal one, right? Because I had to go through my own healing process. So I would say that I had to get destroyed in order to rebuild myself.
Man.
So when I tell you, it was a point in my life where it was Murphy's Law. Like anything that could go wrong, it was a shit show. Like, where is this coming from?
You guys know about the shit show.
Me and my husband were separating, starting a divorce process. We fighting back and forth, in and out, up and down. My career went cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. Like, it was, and I'm trying to hold on to my paper doll. Like, no, I worked hard for this. And something was just like, and no. So I had to literally get to a place where I felt like, and they straight told me afterwards, of course, because they be like that with me. They had to empty my cup. I needed my cup empty of all the bullshit programming that I had done to myself, didn't know how to love myself because all this, like, we had to get rid of all of that. And now it's just you. Now what? Have fun, bitch. Wait. And
all the things that we thought were important in our lives are no longer. Like, it's
right. And mind you, I'm a mother. And so, and in the midst of this, it's like I'm raising a beautiful little brown girl, and who I want and believe, who I want to know and believe that, your skin color is not a weapon. Like, really and truly, baby, you a goddess.
Oh, please.
Like, real, you know what I mean? So we talk. So, and in the meantime, trying to pick myself up off the floor, and go through this worthiness and who am I and blah blah blah. So that's how I think that was the impetus for it. So when you start going, so this is what happens, then it's like, okay, well shit, well who am I? Yeah. What okay, so, and then when you start asking yourself the hard questions, like, well, I actually don't even really like that. I just did that because that's what I thought I was supposed to wear. This and then just allowing yourself to explore who you were. And I got a reading from this woman in San Diego, Melanie. Hey, Mel, at the Reiki room. And when I talked to her, it was about, I don't know, I guess 3 years ago, when I was in a place where I was just like, I don't know anything that's going on. What in the fuck is hell? You start searching.
Right.
So as I'm searching, and she was just like, oh, and she told me, she's like, oh, sweetie, you are a healer. You have a purpose. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Look.
When I'm gonna get this bag.
Right. What is going on? I got this. That sounds real wonderful and cute when I'm like 65 and I'm all done and all that. But right now I have to. And so it was. I mean, honestly, and it's so funny because when I think about that, we design our lives. It's like I knew myself that I had to put my foot on my neck for me to get there, to get out of that. And I knew that about myself. But I also knew how every time, because of my life, when I think even back then when I was a little kid, there was something about me in me that always knew when it came down to it, choose you. I've known that for years. And every time, but like it'll be times where you don't, but when the shit hit the fan, it's always something to be like, hold on, wake up. Right. You like, oh, let me go over here. And so I've had that. It's like a survival skill that's always, it's always been there with me. Yeah. It's something I picked up when I was a kid, which sounds fucked up, but it's my story.
That is your story.
But I'm probably more of a kid now at 43 than I've ever been, because I've allowed myself to heal that part of me. So now it's like I can act like, it's almost like this innocence. This is the weirdest thing. I feel like I'm wise like a 96-year-old, but I feel like a kid.
Which is so funny, you guys. I thought I was silly. I feel
I'm a straight kid.
But I love it though.
I have it's straight joy. But when I think about people who are working in the healing space and like how you get here, I would say, to answer your question, sorry, that once I realized that me, and when I thought about this, it was like I thought to myself, I'm not anybody special. It's not, you know what I mean? Like I'm just I am
special.
But you know what I mean? This is so like you fight this because you're like, this doesn't make sense. I don't know. I can't graph this. I can't rationalize this. But once I realized what we were able to tap into, and I realized, and I'm like, if I can do it, if I can do this.
I'm about to strip, sorry.
Well, we can open some windows, we got this good heat up in here. If I can do this, then anybody can do this. And start getting to the point where, and then when I started to realize, it gave me my purpose again. It made, because I identified with my career. I'm like, shoot, I'm a beast. I don't need nothing. Been popping. But so when you take that away and you don't know really like, okay, so what is this? Who am I in this new space? When I realized that I focused on service instead of me, and that's how I started growing.
Did you hear that?
That was healing for me.
Focus on service, you guys.
So healing for me was helping other women heal and see themselves, and then that started opening it up more for me, like, oh, you can see yourself too. Because as I'm meeting all these beautiful goddesses coming in, and they're all in the same space, but then something in me is like, oh wait, I can see you. And then they taught me like, okay, now it's your turn. Look in the mirror. I was like, oh, I can see me.
But it's true.
But I would tell you, I think it is such a testament to the program and that we go through, like real talk. When it comes time for us to look in the mirror at ourselves, we are fucking terrified. And y'all know I don't mean a physical mirror. You know what I'm talking about. Like we are scared because we're like, but the program didn't tell me what's down there. Like I don't know what I'm going to see. And I would tell you, it is so scary, but what you discover about who you are is absolutely mind-blowing, amazing. And this is the beautiful thing about that. Once you see you can't go back to not seeing you. You might, make a decision here and there, but now you got this North Star. Something pops you back like, hey, psst, yo, Did you forget? Oh, wait a minute.
I'm a whole ass magical melanated goddess.
What? Did you hear it? You see me? What? Gaia is my sister. Don't
dust off my
play
crown.
with me. Hold on. Let me adjust this crown. What? And that's a beautiful thing. It's like a North Star. I come back. Okay, I'm good.
That's awesome. All right, so I have another question. I have a few more. What has been the most exciting part about your spiritual journey?
Honestly, this is good. Okay, I'll tell you. And I sound like such a lame, but it's true. I think the most exciting part about my spiritual journey is it allowed me to see God in everybody. I see people different. Even people that we think are, I literally can see both sides of anything. Yeah. And that's exciting to me. And what it allows me to do is I can see it. So it helps me not waste time and energy on things. Like, I can see people. Like, I see you.
When I tell you about the wasting time, you talked about wasting time. That's for
girl.
real.
No, that's a thing. And what we say? What did Chad's wife say? Take your time, but don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that quote. It's my new favorite. Girl, like, so my most favorite part is that I honestly, and this is something I've always been able to do, I just didn't know it was a spiritual gift. I see the magic in people. I see, like, when we talk about this, even like when even with people that I've been with, like dating, and from dating, it's like you can't see what I see. Like, you are like.
So let's go into that. So as far as like where you are now, and the fact that you can sense energy, how do you date?
Okay, so I'll tell you this. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So on one side, it's this beautiful thing that who I see, like, it goes so fast now. Like, I mean, I'm talking about, I used to think I knew some shit, but I mean, when I say I see it, and it's just like, okay, and so that prevents a lot of things from even coming towards me, because the energy that I give off I'm telling you, it could be a man. We could be sitting at a bar, say there's 4 women lined up, and the man will come, and he'll go 1, 2, 3, set him fourth one, and be like, hi, nice to meet you, and walk away. And I'd be like, God damn!
I know, did my breath smell? Like, what happened?
You know what I mean? And not that but I've already seen you. I don't want you. It's just that, damn, you're not even gonna try.
When I tell people that people don't approach me, I'm dead serious.
I'm dead serious.
People don't approach me.
They don't approach me. Some people are like, oh my God, how are we? Like seriously. But so that's the bad part of it. But the other side of it, though, is this. I know for certain anybody that I feel attracted to, that I feel like I want to share my energy with them, and that could be, sexually or even just in conversation. I'm very conscious about my time and my energy. Like, I can't. Like, so if I feel a connection to somebody, that makes it easy for me, because I know if it feels good. Even if this isn't a forever thing, it's like, there's something here for us. There's an energy exchange, and I'm very conscious of my energy exchanges.
I love that.
So so the numbers are, you'll be feeling like, okay, like, for real, jeez, do I need to get a facial?
Right?
Because I mean, people don't, men don't necessarily approach me, like that at all. Like, seriously. But the ones who do, they some good pics,
baby.
But the ones who do,
right.
But so she's ready for love, y'all.
She ready. So my last question. So
yes.
We had talked about, wearing the many hats, because we are more than just this space. You are also a mom.
Yes.
So what are some ways that you are developing your daughter's spiritual gifts, or teaching her, helping to, like, what are you doing to help her?
So I'll say this. I think when we grew up as kids, when we thought about, but I seriously think about this when we thought about someone who was like us, like like say we had a friend whose mom was like us, like she's over there doing full moon rituals and
she's weird,
totally weird. You know what I mean? And like, oh my God, her mom's a witch. You know what I mean? Like it would be things like that. So that pushed a lot of people away, and children also away from embracing that, and even that child, because their mom was, showing, she like, I ain't weirdo like you. So when I think about what I hope and pray and what my intention is to show my daughter, girl, like that's my girl. That's my girl. It's you are all. It's not, you don't have to choose shit.
Right.
Like your mama and fortunately and unfortunately, my daughter has been with me, and she's able to see my growth of who I am, and I'm so conscious of that. So I tell her, so I'm like, you have space and room to grow, just like mommy has space and room. You're not gonna be the same person that you were a year ago,
right?
And whoever
hopefully you don't want to be,
and right, and whoever you are, I'm here, but I got you. So my message is like, she sees me like I still do PR and reputation branding work. So she'll see me here. Jay's been to my offices with me. Jay's been in board meetings with me. Jade, literally anybody who knows me, if someone says they know me and they don't know my daughter, they don't fucking know me. Like, it's just period, point blank. And so she's always been with me, so she sees every side of me. So she sees an entrepreneur, she sees silly mommy, she sees mama in the kitchen, doing the domesticated diva type stuff. She sees all of that, but she also knows, like Christy came over here and Jay was like, oh, mommy's meditating, like she knows that that's a part of life, and she knows that any question that she has about what I'm doing, and I invite her in. And so all I want her to know, I don't care how it manifests in her, all I want her to know is that God is in you.
Yeah.
If I can get her there, you know what I mean? And aside from the fact that you like you a whole boss baby, and let me tell you something, my kid, she believes in her
she
magic.
Gets it from her mom.
That baby thinks she poos glitter, honey.
No, not thinks. She knows. She knows. When she poops, she is blessing us.
Yeah, like for real.
It is funny.
But she has her own personality. But I would say the biggest takeaway that I would want for my daughter is that, my favorite word is I am. I want her to understand I am, and it is not limited by anything except for what you want it to be. And because you have God in you, you can create anything. And guess what? You can create this, and if you're like, oh, I don't want that creation, you can do something else. You are a creator. You are the creatrix. This is who you are. This is your DNA, period, point blank. And just accept the fullness of who you are. If I keep that's it for me. You know what I mean? And I've taught myself, and it's just like, and learned, because I remember at a point in time thinking like, man, she not gonna know nothing because she ain't had to struggle for shit. But my journey was like, and I feel like part of me having to go through that early life struggle has made me who I was, and I'm resilient than a motherfucker. I'm like Teflon.
Right.
But I had to accept, hold on, bitch, that's your journey. Just because that's your child does not make y'all journeys align. Yep. You serve a purpose in her journey, and she serves a purpose in yours, but your journeys are not the same. Right. And so I accept and understand, like, that's awesome. What do I have to do to support her on her journey? Not Mia's 2.0 journey. No, her journey.
Yeah. No, I love that.
But as long as she know that God is in her, and that you like, whatever you believe you are, that's what you're going to be. So if you believe that you are less than, then that's what you'll be. Congratulations, you're right. Yep. And if you believe that actually, I'm kind of like a whole goddess out here.
You're right.
You're right.
Yep.
So, that's it.
So that is my last question. And I do have to say, because we are... We are past an hour. We're almost at an hour and 30. But I will say that I've told her this before. I love the way Mia loves her daughter.
Oh my God,
it's just so special. And to have our children to be able to witness.
Yes.
Like, our children have this, they have the front
row
seat.
Like, girl,
they see us
supporting
right. They see us going through. They see us doing it all. They see us being mom. They see us being healers. They see us being, in our careers. They see us juggling all of these things. And so you gave me an I am, and so like the I am that I think of you is I am divine. Like in everything in every way. And when and I say this all the time, when Mia says something, it just like I truly stop, because now you're gonna make me start crying. I trust her like with my entire life. I trust her with my soul. So I mean,
I can't think she about to make me cry. I was like, snot.
No,
nasty.
But no, that's for real. So okay, I am divine. That's it. All right. So what's the takeaway? So do we have any takeaways? What's the temple word?
I love you, girl. I can't take it. Okay. Child. Okay. So I think I would say the takeaway is you don't accepting your spirituality and your divinity does not look like one way. It looks like whatever you create it to be. You are a whole full person. That means you are plus and plus. If you're gonna do the titles and slash, however many you want, without wearing yourself down, because literally the DNA of God is in you. Yeah. And God is the creator and gave you power to create.
It is absolutely true.
Being able to accept the fullness of who you are. Like when I think about all these women and these young guys and who are during this time, they are allowing themselves to make a living off their passions and their purpose and it's a beautiful fucking thing. And like to me, like stuff like that makes me so excited, because I'm like, that's the type of world that I want to live in. If I could create this world, that's the type of world that I'm
going to live in.
Yes, that's the world that I'm hoping to create. That's the world that I'm hoping that through my healing. Yes. And helping people and doing reading stuff for them, that I'm helping to create a world where everybody is able to love who they are, know who they are, and stand in the fullness of who they are and flourish. Like, to me, that is paradise. Petals popping. We out here petals popping. Pling, pling.
So my takeaway, and I keep it short and simple. My takeaway is just trusting yourself.
Girl.
Trusting your intuition. And so
trust.
When you told me to go back like a year ago, I would have never.
Never.
Yeah. I would have never thought that I was in this space. Never. I would have never. But like you said, our lives, like as we think we know, has to be destroyed and built back up for us to have a better understanding. So for my takeaway is to trust yourself. Trust yourself. I mean,
trust your journey and keep going. If you feel a tug, it's for a reason. And literally, I think that's an easy first step for people.
Yeah.
When you feel a tug, because I'm telling you, I don't care who you are, there is a time in your life when you feel a tug that's like, no, go this way.
Yep.
Once in your life, if you've never done it, just go down and just let me just see. Okay, what you tugging me to? Just allow yourself to explore yourself. Okay.
Yep. And I must give her a shout out because it's fair, and she gave me a shout out too, because we talked about her work in Reiki, her giving readings, Akashic record readings, spiritual coach. You can follow her on Instagram at Wings Unleashed 444. Those are some angel numbers, those special. Wings Unleashed 444. And honestly, like, it's been a blessing to have this podcast and to have this platform to be able to not only share our journeys, because you already know I'm a sharer. And at one point, Mia was just like, you share so much, everybody knows so much about you. They know where you are. They know what time you're going to be there.
See? But you see that survivor, that little kid in me, that I'm the paranoid. That's where the paranoia come from.
Yeah.
Like,
But, I'm
she's
I'm
such
thankful.
a good sharer, and I love that.
But I am thankful for this platform for us to be able to share. And I am thankful to have this platform with you and to be able to share our platform with others. Because you all have come to us and shared stories and asked us questions and DM us. And we truly, truly appreciate it.
And we respond to everybody.
Yes, we do. We'd like
whole
to.
conversation. I mean,
yes.
I honest, and I don't take a lot of, when I say I take this seriously, I don't take a lot of stuff seriously because like I see through a lot of stuff. But I take this seriously, just in terms of, because I truly believe, like, call me naive, say I'm looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, but I truly believe that there is a paradise available for everybody to just love themselves. And so I take this seriously. If I can get you there, if I can help, so you can help somebody else and they can help somebody, heal people.
Right. And once your petals are popping, you can go in and help someone else's petals popping. And men, we see you too. And maybe you won't have popping petals, but...
Oh my God. Yep, I need to find a man soon because, baby, look, where my head just went. Oh my God.
And the thing is, I was right there with you. What do you say all the time? I picked up what you dropped down.
I'm picking up what you putting down. You definitely picked that up.
At the same time, we were like,
oh.
Okay. But man, we see you. We see you, man. We see you out there.
I love my kings.
Woo. All right.
Okay.
So what's our time for work?
All right. Whew. Okay, wait. Breathe. Okay. Where's my... Oh, thank you. I'm like, where did I write this down? Temple work. Ooh, okay. So, gotcha. Wait. There's another bottle.
No, I don't need it.
So, guys, I want you to get out your journals. Hopefully you have your journals. If not, we might.
Y'all better have your journals.
You got to have your journals, y'all, because this is your life. You document your life. You tell your story. Okay, so, we talked about today about being the fullness of. What the heck just happened to it? The fullness of, kind of accepting, like, you are this plus this plus this plus. And that when you're going through your journey, you don't have to choose to abandon another piece of you as opposed, in order to add something. Right. You are so expansive. You can keep adding, okay? But what I want everyone to do is take some time, and actually 2020 is the perfect year for this. Oh, yeah. And this is something that I usually would do at the end of the year, but I think this is a great opportunity, my little poo-poo, a great opportunity to do this. I want you to think back on what's happened this year in your life. And on one side, you're going to do two columns. The left column is things that I could have done without. You know what I mean? Experiences that I could have done without. If it's, you can get very granular if you want to talk specifically about, like, I didn't like this date, or, you know what I mean? I don't like that I gained 15 pounds, like, or experiences that you're like, something about this made me feel less than. And then in the right column, I want you to think about the things that brought you joy, that were easy to you, that were like, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And and again, and I say this all the time, but I really want people to feel this. This is not for anybody else but you. So be honest with yourself about yourself, like, for real. And then kind of look at this, and because what you want to do is, especially, it's a great full moon coming up too.
Blue moon,
This is the blue moon, once in a blue moon. And this will also help you to figure out what you want to release for this new moon, for the blue moon, okay? So this will go live before that new moon. So because when you're looking at things that you're like, I felt less than, or I felt challenged, or I didn't feel myself, the things that started that is like, okay, well, I need to release that. Right. So that will help you. But then also, when you look at the things that brought you joy, then you start to think of, how can I get more of this in my life? Right. And it's something that's just something that's simple. Right. It's saying, I choose to follow joy. My light shines bright over there. I like that. And I really enjoy going to the bookstore. That's a real thing for me.
No, that's real for her.
That's I'd be happy. I'm so pissed my favorite bookstore is closed right now. But when it's something as simple as just accepting, this is just a part of, who I am. And let me just go explore this. Why is this? What is it about this? And you know what I mean? So and you start to discover more of who you are. So then for me, it's okay, why do I really like going to the bookstore? Because I'm curious by nature. I like to learn. It makes me feel like I'm adding value. People are fascinating to me. Stories.
That's why I always want to get certification.
But it's fascinating, So and then I take that, so how do I get more experiences where I'm able to learn more about people, where I'm able to see new experiences, learn more. So that also goes into, I like traveling. But, when you get down to the core things of what about this do I like? Why does this bring me joy? Let me go chase this joy. Yeah. And if I can release some things, you might be like, okay, my whole job is a no. Okay, now don't be stupid. You hold on to that check until you're able to find it. But use wisdom. Looking at what your joy is will allow you to be like, okay, so what steps am I making? The power of you to create what you want is yours. All this is going to do is to help you see more clearly what you want, because what you want and desire is the thing that brings joy to you.
Yes. And I want to say with the temple work, if you all are listening to the podcast, a month from now or a year from now, and you feel that it's too late for you to do the temple work, it's not true. Whatever point in time you are listening to this podcast.
Yes, absolutely.
The temple work is for you.
It's for you.
At that particular time.
Ma'am.
So don't just dismiss and say, "Oh, well, I missed it. This podcast was 2 years ago or a year ago. I've missed the train." You haven't missed the train. This time is for you specifically now. So don't bypass the temple work.
Yes.
All right. This week's feature, Crystal. I'm sorry. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm totally done.
I need to come up with a theme song. So
please, we need to get this girl. I'm getting the sound because you are a dancer. I will not accept that as the dance for this.
No, this is the dance. That's the dance. So I really enjoyed interviewing her, interviewing Mia. I really enjoyed this, and I've been wanting to do this because I think even though we work together, there are some questions that I have. Yeah. We're still learning each other. We're still understanding each other.
I have fun doing this. This is fun.
But I love this, and I learned so much about her, and I know that she's learning a lot about me. So Mia.
Yes.
Actually, or did you want to ask me?
Yes, I want to know what your favorite. So what we're going to do for Crystal of the Week, this is we're going to, since we did the interview, we're going to see what each other's favorite crystal is. So Crystal Christie.
So there are so many crystals to choose from.
You gotta pick one.
And I am going to pick one. And I'm not going to share a new crystal because I feel like that kind of takes away the fun. But I will say carnelian.
Ooh.
Carnelian is one of my favorite because it's
totally see that.
It's like a feel good. But let me tell you another. Oh, I'm not wearing it today. Labradorite.
That's the one I thought you were gonna say, or I thought you were gonna bring that crystal in here.
Labradorite is that's like my boo. That I'm sure whoever I end up being with or whatever sharing space with, they will think I am crazy because I sleep with my crystals. I mean,
girl, real talk. I'm one of the people who make up their bed every day. I guarantee you, if you go to my room right now, if you walk back to my room, Chrissy, there's minimally 3-4 crystals on my bed.
Oh,
on
absolutely.
My sheets, under a pillow, something.
In the bra, nightstand.
Oh, it's definitely I got. But yeah. He'll be like, what is this hard to get?
Right, it's the crystals. But
you can give me something else, huh?
Yeah,
she ready, y'all.
She ready.
So would you say it's labradorite then?
Labradorite, yeah.
Why?
So labradorite, labradorite is You know how people carry hot sauce in their purse?
Ooh, I got hot sauce in my bag. I used to carry syrup, y'all. I'm not even.
It's like labradorite is like it just adds that. I mean, to my meditation, and it just adds that. I don't know how to explain it. It's just been amazing to work with, and it's given me a lot of insight. And it's beautiful, and I feel like it also reminds me of my powers. Like it just,
I love that.
you know, like it's just
Labradorite
like
is such a good stone for building your intuition.
right.
Like,
it's beautiful.
I could totally see that. Absolutely.
Oh, it's beautiful. So okay, so what would you say is your favorite crystal?
And why? All right. Okay. I will say this is it's a little difficult only because at different times, you know, we'll be like really into a certain crystal.
Yes.
So I'm like, ugh, because right now I'm really into my Super 7.
Oh yeah.
And my Lemurian.
Yes.
So
Lemurians, yeah, that's
yes,
one. But
that's
I didn't
the one
want
I thought.
I didn't want to share
ones.
that because we haven't gotten.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Okay, but so when I broke it down, I had to say that my favorite crystal is the clear quartz.
Clear quartz is great.
It's and because I think that one clear quartz is probably the between that and amethyst is probably. And rose quartz is people's introduction to crystals. Right. That's usually the first one that they get or someone recommends for them. But it's the master healer stone. And so, you know, I know, you know, it's so funny because my guys have shown me how to use this thing, the heal thing. But like and the thing that's so dope about it is an amplifier.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the super dope
shit about it. I mean, we explained it in one of our episodes.
But just in case. So, clear quartz is a stone that... So, say your favorite stone. Say we take the carnelian. And you want to... It's almost like you turning the radio volume up or the vibrations of this. So, you put clear quartz around it or you put a grid with it. It amplifies the energy of a different stuff. It's... beautiful to me. Yep. And the other reason that I love clear quartz is that I like the way the light reflects out of clear quartz, and it's to me, and I know this sounds strange, but y'all know I'm a weirdo, so whatever. Clear quartz sounds like a wind chime. It's I don't know, it's something about it. It's when I look at it, I hear a wind chime. It's something just beautiful and clearing about it. It feels like wind and water. And when I think about it, it's something like you could have a clear quartz sitting. Like I could have a clear quartz in my champagne and you wouldn't even see it. Yeah. Because it's literally clear, but then you have this healing thing. So it's like something about being able to be unseen but still healed is sexy to me. I started looking around my house. I'm like, let me just see what I have clear quartz. Every freaking is that cat on my desk? You see him sitting on my desk? This River, we're gonna get it, but I use it a lot, and find it doesn't need to be necessarily clean, but I still charge clear quartz, especially on a full moon. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. But that's why it's just
clear quartz is the bomb.
It's the bomb.
And the thing that I like about it is that it's a great crystal for a beginner, but it's also a great crystal for someone who is a little further on in their spiritual journey. So it's like
my favorite pendulum is a clear quartz one. That clear quartz pendulum is the shit.
Yeah, that's the pendulum that I use in my crystal healing sessions.
That's the one that I use when I'm doing Reiki. Is the pendulum? Yep,
I love it.
Yep.
That's the reason why.
I told you. I already wrote it down. Dragonfly method. Anyway.
What's the message for the day?
Oh wait, I got it. What did I do? Ooh, don't leave me. Oh, I know what it was. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I got distracted. I didn't know. Ooh, I had put it. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, guys. So, interesting enough, we're talking about divine masculine. Right? Okay. So, this is about... So when we think of, and I love that we're doing this because, again, the full moon is coming, and I love to see both sides
Full
of it.
moon is 31st, right?
It's on Halloween.
On Halloween.
It's about to be a creepy day, but okay. So when you think about divine feminine, there is a lot of mystery and darkness and wisdom that lives there. But when I think about divine masculine, I think about something that inspires action. I think about fire.
Yes.
You know? So we're being asked to remember that everything has its purpose. Everything has its purpose, whether or not we see it while it's happening or afterwards, or we see it coming before it comes. There's a purpose to it. So you might not always understand the purpose of what something is, but however, know that if it's someone's creation, okay, it's to be respected. So even if it's something that you're like, I'm not accepting of that, but respect that people have the power to create just like you have your free will. So in exercising your power to create and be action, you give people the respect and to exercise their power to create, but we always have our free will. Okay? So consider all the areas of your life and reevaluate anything, and I think this is also good for so what I'm trying to do is marry how, like, when you think about divine masculine together. So when you think about this full moon and what we want to release, think about the areas of your life where things are not working, right? And then we want to release them. But when we think about that divine masculine, it's power to there's power and action there. So it's not only releasing, but then it's like, what are my action steps now? And it's like it's this time, where it's starting to get colder for a lot of us. It's winter
Cuffing
is
season.
coming, right?
I'm sorry.
It is cuffing season for real. So, but a lot of us will be indoors, and probably a lot of us probably still are because of COVID. But it's going to be a lot of people indoors, and an opportunity for you to rebuild and create yourself. But what we're being asked to is to embrace the divine masculine in you, which is the action. Sorry, my phone's loud. Which is inspiring action. It's time to take action, because the seeds that we sow now in our actions, and especially our divine led actions, the flowers, what's coming up from that from the seeds are sown during this time. But you got to take the action. So I know a lot of people right now are going through this. Like they have all these wonderful thoughts and ideas, and they're afraid to, like, what if I put myself out there and it fails? Or, you know what I mean? So we're being asked to step away from the what if and wondering about what the reaction would be. Just do you and be who you are supposed to be, stepping in your fullness. And things that are coming out during this time are going to win for people because it's coming from a real place.
Yeah.
When you strip people of everything, they don't have anything but themselves. So the things that they create out of just being themselves is some of the most beautiful and magical shit that's going to be created.
And the period you talked about being stripped, the period of being stripped, that's the darkness that you talked about. When that seed is planted and you're going into the dark, you have to go into the dark.
You have to go into the dark. So be a leader of your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's time to take your thoughts and your aspirations and your ideas and put them into action. Even take one step. Even if it's, I have an idea for a business, I'm nervous about it, just go register the business. Just do that. Just like, okay, so now I've done this. Go buy the URL for the website. Just make a step. It's time for action. And don't miss this opportunity to grow for yourself, for real.
Take that action, y'all. This is so interesting because I was just where the message, or the message for the day is taking action, and we both were in a place where we were afraid of taking action that that is currently brought us to where we are now.
Yep.
So you just never know what taking that action, taking that one step, where that will lead you.
Yep.
So that's awesome. So
I'm excited. I love this. And you guys,
did you see? I sent you a message.
No. I'm excited. Like
I'm excited too. And you know how you talked about how
yes.
How you're in the space and you don't know how, but you're just trusting the path?
Yes.
That's where I am now. I don't know how. I don't know how the hell, but
like y'all, I'm not. I hope I don't sound too woo woo, but whatever.
Girl, sound woo woo.
Right? I'm like, but whatever.
Sound woo woo, boo boo.
But whatever. But I will tell you, there is a certain sense of security and confidence, and like I if someone says, but how you gonna get there? I don't even know how I got here. Like, what you talking about? I am obedient to my highest self. I listen to myself. I listen to my guides, and I'm led. So I know for a fact that I did not come here to struggle. I know for a fact that I did not come here. There is a purpose on my life that I created, just like it's a purpose on your life that you created. You did not come here to struggle, work, pay bills, and die. You came here to be.
Right.
Shit.
That's a message. That is a message. And we are at 1 hour and 50 minutes now.
Oh, so. Jesus, I'm done.
It's funny how we always, like, we're like, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be a short episode. We're just la, 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 la.
I thought you was going to say like 1 hour 30.
No. But as always, you guys, we are going to wrap this up. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you all. Just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm so grateful. Like, this is, and if you could feel anything,
right.
Feel that. I'm grateful.
We are both very, truly, sincerely grateful. And so thank you for listening to Two Queens and Crystal Things.
Queens and Crystal Things.
Show us some love. We want to grow our podcast, spread the word, share the podcast, tag a friend on our page. If there's a message or an affirmation that's on our page that you think would be a great fit for your friend or for someone that you know, they need that word, tag them on our Instagram page, share the podcast, go ahead and leave us a review. Again, sharing is caring, but we just want to thank you for that. So next week,
tell them, Christy.
We want you to stay tuned for next week's episode where we are going to discuss, cha-ching, we're going to discuss manifestation. Manifestation is a topic that a lot of people talk about, they hear about, but they don't really understand what it is. So we're going to talk about it, and we'll also share our experience of manifestation in our lives and how we use it. But again, if you guys have any questions for us or you want questions answered for the next show, you can always send them to us in our DMs. You can also email us on our website at info@twoqueensandcrystalthings.com. And so
our website will be launched very soon. We got some good stuff coming up.
I mean, guys. This is the phase of action. We got to take action.
We're taking action steps. Look, let's be clear. The message for y'all is the same for us. We're taking steps. We planting seeds. Girl, I'm trying to grow my garden. Right. Petals popping.
Yeah, we're planting seeds so our petals can pop.
I want them like plink, plink.
So until next time, beautiful people, beautiful souls, amazing people you are. Just
and I have met some amazing people because of this podcast, like real talk. But I'm not surprised because I see y'all.
Yep.
I see us.
We peep y'all.
We pink, pink.
So light, peace, love, and soul, you guys.
We out, y'all. Till next week.
Till next week. We out.